Hello everybody, in this video I'm just going to take a few minutes talking about what I think is very likely to happen in 2021 with the next projected Gigafactory, and I do want to go ahead and say that no one can know for sure except for maybe Elon and a couple of other people at top management, but I am going to talk about a reason for 4 different locations that I think are very likely to happen for the next Gigafactory next year. So the first one I wanted to talk about is a Tesla UK, and on each of these I'm going to say what percentage likely I think it's going to happen in 2021, and I think a Tesla UK is about 10% likely to happen in 2021, and with each of these 4 the percentage is going to increase, but there are a couple of reasons I think it is likely. The first one being that Tesla released a piece of press earlier this year that's saying that a Tesla Central Asia was extremely likely to happen eventually, Tesla UK and Tesla Austin, and as you know, Tesla Austin is already being built. It's basically a pile of dirt right now, but it's eventually going to be built. But there's also a couple of other reasons. They're really progressive in the United Kingdom, which means more and more people want to buy EVs. Also, it's pretty expensive. Even when the Tesla Berlin factory is at full production, it's still going to be relatively expensive to get vehicles over to the UK because they're going to have to cross the English Channel. And even when I was there a year ago, or a little over a year ago now, Teslas were all over the place, and Tesla Berlin wasn't even started yet, so I'm sure there's a huge demand for the cars there. And then next up is a Tesla Brazil, or more specifically Sao Paulo, which I give a 15% chance, so slightly more likely than Tesla UK. And there isn't any kind of official statement or even press from Tesla talking about a Tesla Brazil location, but there was a lot of speculation about one opening up a couple of years ago, but that fizzled out. So there's a couple of big reasons I think a Tesla Brazil factory is extremely likely, and one is that Elon has said that it's pertinent that Tesla gets a factory on every continent, mainly for transportation costs, because buying a Tesla right now in Brazil would be extremely expensive just because it's so expensive to get one from the Fremont factory down to Brazil. And another one is that even if you wanted one in Bolivia or Argentina, Paraguay, or Uruguay, getting one from Brazil would be a lot less expensive. And there was a huge market for EVs across all of those different countries. Not so much in Colombia and Venezuela just because gas is cheaper than water there, but in a lot of the South American markets, there's a huge want for electric vehicles and really not any way to get them cheaply at all. Next up is a Tesla New York, which is actually 20% likely, and I actually have 5 reasons I think a Tesla New York location is likely. The first one is transport. So right now, to get cars to New England, which is the second biggest greater market here in the United States, they have to go all the way from California, which is all the way across the continental United States, or soon it'll still have to come all the way from Texas, which is still pretty expensive. But with New York, they could serve states like Pennsylvania, which is also a pretty great market, as well as a lot of the other New England states. And that kind of leads into the next point, is that they will also be able to get cars over to Canada much more easily, which is also really progressive, as well as a lot of the other New England states. So progressive meaning a lot of potential customers for EVs. So that was kind of the third point, is that the surrounding market for New York is really progressive. And then also there's been a lot of speculation that a third location for Tesla will be opening within the next couple of years, and New York is definitely my guess. And then kind of the last point is that there is already a presence in Buffalo, New York, which you can see on the left there, and Canada is just right across the lake there, and you can also connect it by land. And then there's a lot of locations for Toronto, Quebec, Ontario, or all of Ontario, I mean. And it's really expensive to get electric vehicles from Tesla to those locations right now as well, coming from California, so this would make that much cheaper. Last on this list, in a way, the last one I'm going to go into detail on is Tesla India, which I give a 25% chance. And Elon said just in a few words in a tweet that Tesla India may happen in 2021, and that was in a response to a tweet. It didn't even get a whole tweet itself, but I think it's just inevitable that there's a Tesla location in India because it's a massive market, and they're really turning into more of a developed economy, and there's a huge market for EVs there, so most likely on this list. If you were paying attention, you'd probably notice that those only added up to 70%, and that's because it's very, very possible that there is another location in somewhere I'm not really thinking of. So I think there's about a 5% chance that there's one in Australia, 5% chance that there's one in Canada or Japan or South Africa, and that still only adds up to 90%. So I think it's 10% likely that it opens up in a country that I'm really, really not expecting, which I think would be pretty weird, but it could be possible they open in a country like France or South Korea, which would be, yeah, definitely unexpected, but definitely possible as well. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about what I thought about the South Africa, Japan, Canada, or Australia location, I did talk a little bit more about those in another video I made around a week ago, so to be sure to come and check that out. And I also make a ton of brief stock analysis videos. Subscribe for more content, and thank you so much for watching.